I've always been interested in how large-scale change happens, how in the past things like public health, education were transformed, how in the future we move to a net zero economy or a world full of artificial intelligence. Just round the corner from UCL is a fantastic example of how large-scale change can happen. In Broad Street in central London in the mid-19th century, there was yet another cholera outbreak. Hundreds of people were dying. And John Snow was a doctor who realised they were all getting their water from the same pump, that infected water was the cause of cholera, and he also realised this was a soluble problem. And his insight prompted radical change to how water was organised and sewage in London, but then in cities all over the world. Probably the biggest improvement in the human condition ever in our history was the move from dirty to clean water and understanding of health. So John Snow's skill in using research and data to see things in a new way prompted a whole series of changes to our daily lives with enormous benefits for humankind. And that's the kind of model we need to be doing much more of again in the 21st century too. My background has helped me see change from many angles. I was in charge of strategy in the UK government. I've worked for the European Commission, cities, about 50 governments worldwide, seeing top-down change. And this has made me more and more aware that what we need in the next few decades is an ability to combine understanding of science and technology and engineering with an understanding of societies and policy and how our own behaviour changes. And in the next 20, 40 years, we have to change our behaviour, we have to change our housing, our transport, our policies, our regulations, almost everything will have to transform. And we try to fuse these in our new undergraduate programme here, in our master's programme, in our research projects as well, creating a cadre of people with the skills, the understanding from deep science to the practicalities of implementation and policy to help us thrive in the century ahead. And one thing I'm particularly interested in is how we boost imagination, and this is the topic of my latest book, Another World is Possible, is really about how we reignite our political, our social imagination to help us build a better future rather than just to see that as a place of potential disaster and doom, which I think many people quite rightly are scared of climate change and what could go wrong in the decades ahead. But the lesson of history is that actually you can imagine better alternatives. In many countries around the world, the majority now expect their children to be worse off than they were. What we're trying to do here at UCL is prepare an alternative where actually a generation or two from now, people are living better lives than we're living today. That's our gift, as it were, to the world.